is officially done, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live show. I am Jack Talks Jets, your host for tonight's live, and it's a big live tonight. Actually, probably the biggest one I've had in a while. Um, as you can see, so many things have happened within the last few weeks for the Jets Nation here. You have Aaron Glenn obviously getting hired as the new head coach of the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers, and this is actually the focus of today's stream, as you guys can see in the text below. Aaron Rodgers not coming back to New York. That's kind of a big surprise. I mean, I kind of saw it happening with the way that Aaron Glenn stepped his foot on this team. I knew he was going to be the leader since the day we hired him. I knew he was going to be a team first leader over a Rodgers leader, because lately, for the past couple years, I feel like it's been more Rodgers over the team instead of the team over Rodgers. And I feel like Aaron Glenn is definitely stepping his foot on the gas. Like what Robert Saleh said a few years ago, all gas, no brake. I feel like Aaron Glenn's actually going to put that into perspective. As he said, I don't know if you guys saw the article that came out a few days ago, actually, mentioning how Aaron Glenn said to Aaron Rodgers, this is what he said in a nutshell. If Aaron Rodgers wanted to still play for the New York Jets, which ultimately I think Aaron Glenn still would have let Aaron Rodgers go. I do not think the Jets would have kept him anyway. I wish they did. We really have no other option right now at quarterback, unfortunately. But this is what he said to him. He said, if you want to play for this team, right, you have to step aside on Pat McAfee. You cannot do any more Pat McAfee shows. You can't do any more live shows with him. You can't do anything. You can't skip training camp. That's really what the big issue was. Rodgers was very hesitant to show up to training camp the last couple of years, because he's a veteran. I believe that was the reason. I mean, I get it. Rodgers, it's doing this now for nearly 20 years, but it's a mandatory training camp. And I believe you should set a good example for the rookies. And not have them skip out on training camp when they're older, and have that be set an example for the rookies to come, and then the rookies to come again. That's what you're supposed to do. As a veteran, you're not supposed to you're not supposed to think that you're better than anybody else. You're not supposed to think that you have a higher ranking than everybody else. Of course, your younger teammates have to respect you. But it's not like you can just say, "Hey, I've been playing for 10 years. Let me just go skip out on mandatory training camp." No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it 1 second. I don't think that's, necessary for a veteran even to do. And to say, right, and what's different about Aaron Glenn, right, than any other coach, he is excited for this job. Not a lot of coaches were excited for this job. Obviously it's the New York Jets, haven't been doing so well the past few years. But Aaron Glenn was really the only head coaching candidate that was really excited to get this job. And I'm happy for that. From being a player drafted first round in 1994 to then being a scout, 10, 12 years ago, I think, to now being the head coach of the New York Jets. I cannot actually be more happier that he is our head coach. I had him actually number 2 on my list originally for head coach. Mike Vrabel was number 1. Aaron Glenn was number 2. I believe Ben Johnson was number 3. He just got hired as the Bears head coach. But I want to send some chats over. Send some chats in the chat box if you're able to. Send some chats over in the chat box so we can keep this conversation going. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, any comments, put them in the chat box, and we can get this moving forward more. But the thing about Rodgers, right, is his age. Of course, we said this. Of course, the day he got traded to the Jets, his age was a factor. As shown last year when he tore his Achilles, right? And speaking of the Achilles tear, right, that to me is one of the biggest what ifs in Jets history, right? I saw this article the other day. I forget what it was, but I was reading it, right, somewhere along the lines of the New York Post or something like that, of the top 15 Jets what ifs in Jets history. Number 3, Rodgers tearing his Achilles was actually at number 3, by the way. And I learned this all. I took a peek of the article after I heard it on the Jake Asman show. By the way, Jake Asman, one of my favorite Jets radio hosts. Very, very funny, very good radio host. Then you have Jets media, Matt O'Leary. But anyway, back to it. So I saw it on Jake Asman. I was like, really, I wanted to see this whole top 15 because I think Jake like said like seven or something, like seven of them. So I checked out all 15. Right, Rodgers tearing his Achilles. The top three were this: Rodgers tearing his Achilles was number 3 on the list. Number 2, and I actually find that very ironic because number 2 and 3, very, very similar things, almost identical. Number 3, like I said, Rodgers tearing his Achilles against the Bills in Week 1 on Monday Night Football. Number 2 was Vinny Testaverde tearing his Achilles Week 1, and number 1 was what if Bill Belichick didn't resign? So, what's up, Blaze? How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Sign Tutu Atwell, cut Devontae Adams, and trade Garrett Wilson. They're not going to trade Wilson. I guarantee it. You know, it's just rumors of fake Instagram accounts saying that Wilson wants out. Obviously, Wilson's frustrated. It could be true, but there's nothing even really remotely possible or of any signs relating to that. That's all just fake Instagram posts on Instagram that people see, and now it's a rumor that's been building and spreading. Garrett Wilson hasn't even shown any frustration besides on the field for the Jets. And of course, everybody gets frustrated on the field. It's adrenaline. It's in the moment. You know, football's a game of emotion, you know. I don't think Wilson's going to leave. Maybe, especially because he still has 1 year left on his rookie contract, you know. Obviously, you know, you have guys like, I guarantee you if we kept Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson may have wanted to request a trade. That may have been a factor, but we're not. That's the thing. So, I mean, soon sign Tutu Atwell. Maybe. I mean, we do need a receiver. I would say Tutu Atwell is not bad, but I feel like the Jets are going to go for a receiver in like the second round, I believe. And cut Devontae Adams. That's most likely what we're going to do. Most is going to free up some cap space unless he takes a huge cap cut, or a huge salary cut, which I don't see him doing. So anyway, hey Dad, how you doing? Will the Jets make the playoffs next year? Of course not. It's one, because we're the New York Jets. 2, it's because, you know, it's a rebuilding year for us. You know, I don't expect anything over 7 wins next year, really. Especially if we don't have our quarterback problem solved yet. We don't even have half of our offseason stuff solved yet. So I don't really expect anything to come out of the Jets next season other than a 5, 6, 7 win season. I mean, that's just how it is, you know. Unfortunately, that's the reality of that we're living in right now. Unfortunately, we were set back the past 2 years. You know, after 2022, we were looking pretty promising. Maybe if we just fixed up the little things and got rolling, I think we would have been fine, really. And people are saying that we're set back because of Aaron Rodgers, you know. I don't believe so. You know, Rodgers tried everything he could. He was embracing the fan base when he came here, embracing everything, embracing the culture of the Jets organization. I don't think Rodgers set us back 2 years. What I do think set us back 2 years was horrible front office management that we can never solve, right? Right. Obviously, Robert Saleh, you know, I do think Aaron Glenn will be a better head coach than Robert Saleh, but we'll have to see until week 1. I do think the Jets should not have fired Saleh. I don't think Saleh was the main problem at all. Obviously, there could have been things done better. I do not think Saleh was the main problem at all, though. I think the main problem was, like I said, the front office management with, like, the Johnsons and all of that. And I'm not sure if the rumors are true, but apparently Woody Johnson didn't sign Jerry Jeudy because of his Madden rating. Like, when I heard about that, it's that I was astonished on how you can make that decision based off of a video game, really. What's up, Brayden? Brayden says, how many remotes will we throw on the TVs for the Jets this season? I'm sure a lot. I'm sure there's always a new record set every single season, Brayden. I've come close a couple times, especially like when the Jets lost to Buffalo, both times this year. And when the Jets lost to New England, and when the Jets lost to Miami, when the Jets lost to Seattle. Well, I was at the Seattle game, but I watched the highlights and it was really bad. That was really bad. What's up, Vinny? What's going on? Thanks for tuning into the show, man. How you been? How's the podcast been? I didn't watch the new episode yet. What's it about? I'm sure it's good though. But anyway, yeah, like I said, Rodgers, I don't believe set us back 2 years. I think, like I said, it's the horrible front office management. But you know, overall, I do think it was not a mistake signing Aaron Rodgers at all, or trading for Aaron Rodgers because you know, it was the right move. We had no other option at quarterback, really, and Rodgers tried best he could. Trade Garrett, you're crazy. No, Vinny, I'm not crazy. The Jet wide receiver is one of the Jets' biggest concerns right now, especially if they cut Devontae Adams, which they most likely will. If we trade Garrett and cut Devontae, our wide receiver one's going to be Malachi Corley. That's who our wide receiver one's going to be, especially if Alan Lazard leaves as well. Lazard is most likely to leave after this season too. You know, our wide receiver one, if we get all three, if we get rid of all three, it's gonna be Malachi Corley. You know, that's not really who you want. I'm not saying Corley's bad. I'm not saying Corley. You know, although for having 0 touchdowns this season, Corley did not have a bad rookie season. Of course, there's some things that he needs to work on, but you know, an ideal situation, you don't really want Malachi Corley as your wide receiver one yet. I do think he'll have a pretty good second season with the Jets. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm just saying I don't think that Corley is your ideal wide receiver one for 2025. Podcast is good, but I haven't paid attention in like a month. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're very busy. You're a very busy person, you know. And by the way, what camp are we going to this year? Are you going to Philly, or are we going to Philly, or are we going to Jersey this year? Like I kind of got to know soon. But, you know, if you're still thinking, that's fine. But anyway, yeah. Derek Carr or Darnold? Are you talking about who's the sign or who's better? Either way, I still think Carr would be more realistic, but Darnold is better, honestly. You know, you're going to Philly. All right. I'll probably go to Philly this year as well. Yeah, that's probably where I'm gonna go. But anyway, to overall talent-wise, Sam Darnold by a mile. You know, Carr's still good, but I don't believe he's been as good since he left the Raiders, honestly. I feel like once he left the Raiders, he was never really the same, especially because the Saints aren't really the best run organization right now. For the Jets, you know, probably Derek Carr. Carr's more realistic, I would say, but overall, Darnold has more talent. So I would like to have Sam Darnold back. I don't see it, especially because he's already played for this franchise before. Are you mad at Uncle Frank for making you a Jets fan? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Um, I actually love being one. Sometimes I hate it. I mean, it's dreadful, very dreadful, very dreadful. But it's not like I hate it at all. You know, it's better than being a Patriots fan or a Broncos fan, right? Patriots or Broncos fan, it's better than being those. Or even a Bills fan, Eagles fan. It's way better than being those. Cause what the gift about being a Jets fan though, after going through all of this suffering, when it's our time, it's our time. You know. And the thing is, right, I'm not even talking about winning the Super Bowl. Obviously, winning the Super Bowl would be like a dream come true. Just making the playoffs would be like another dream come true. And whoever's leading that team, whether it be Aaron Glenn or a quarterback like I don't know, Justin Fields or anybody, really. Any quarterback or any team or any player or any person that's leading this team, if that leads this team to the playoffs, is automatically going to be in Jets history books. They are going to be in Jets history books no matter what. And the fans will all remember that quarterback and that coach forever as we live, rent free in our heads. That's how long it's been. That's how long the drought has been. That's how bad the drought has been for the Jets. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, that dream came true for the Broncos this year. Yeah, I'm well aware, Lace. 10 years after not making the playoffs, now they finally make it. And now nobody is even close. The Broncos were actually the closest to the Jets in that playoff drought. No, but now nobody's not even close. Not even close. It's at least 6 years apart. At least a 6-year difference for playoffs. And the fact is that it's not even like just in the NFL the Jets have the longest playoff drought. It's in the entire 4 major sports of the United States, right? The Jets have the longest playoff drought, obviously in the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, and the NHL. Like that, I find that crazy, right? Like, I really find that crazy how, of course, nobody but the New York Jets would have that stat. Honestly, nobody but the Jets. I'm not even surprised about that, actually. But, you know, let's talk about the quarterback options for next year really quickly. First of all, before I wanted to get in that, our sponsor for today's stream is, in fact, Nutmeg Adjusters. Water, wind, heat damage, and damage, bursted pipe, anything like that. They will help you with that. Go against the insurance company. They will help you with that. Again, the phone number for that is 203-333-5555. Again, that is 203-333-5555 for that, for nutmeg adjusters. Anyway, now we have to get into that. Quarterback options for this year. I would say Tyrod Taylor is most likely. This may sound crazy, but Tyrod Taylor is probably the most realistic option. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, right? Taylor was a good quarterback back then. Unfortunately, he is very injury prone now and gets injured pretty easily. I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor gets out for the season, if he is our starter, out for the season by week 7. Honestly. But honestly, I think Taylor, unfortunately, is the most realistic option right now. He's a good bridge quarterback, I would say, to have. But if he starts for us, it saves us a bunch of salary cap, and it'll set us up good for 2026 if we save money or save draft picks, especially for a quarterback position, which the Jets are in desperate need of. Next is Jackson Dart. Here's an interesting one because I've seen some reports on Jackson Dart linked to the New York Jets. Apparently, he went to the same high school as Zach Wilson, apparently. I'll have to double check that. I don't know if that's true or not. Apparently, they had the same quarterbacks coach in college, too. Again, I'd have to fact check that. But, Zach, and he's actually gotten similar things. You know how, like, on draft day, they always do, like, those quarterback comparisons? Jackson Dart's was Zach Wilson. That's what kind of like, I don't know. That's what kind of makes me iffy on Jackson Dart. We just have to wait and see. You can never really judge someone based off of college to NFL because college and the NFL are totally separate games. Jordan Travis Super Bowl run. He's not stepping on the field at least till August, Blaze. I'm telling you right now, he's not our starting quarterback. But you can never say never say never. Although I don't see Travis starting for us, he can in the near future. We really can. What's up, Josie? How you doing? Anyway, back to Jackson Dart. I do think Dart is a realistic option for us, especially for us that we hold the number 7 pick currently right now in the NFL draft. I don't know if Dart will get picked that early, but I guarantee you almost half the quarterbacks will be picked off within the first 5 picks. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milroe. Those can all be top 5 picks. Titans, with the Titans holding the number 1 pick right now, I can see them either going both ways between 3 ways, between Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders / Cam Ward, or Travis Hunter. Especially with losing DeAndre Hopkins mid this offseason or during last season. They can definitely use a receiver to help Will Levis if the Titans decide to build Will Levis, which I highly doubt they are. I guarantee you they're moving on from Levis this offseason, or at least benching him this offseason. I do think that the Titans will go the quarterback route or Abdul Carter. I could see all 3 options, really. And then the Giants, I have the Giants picking Shedeur Sanders, so there's that. That's already maybe even the top 2 picks are quarterbacks right off the bat. And then you have Jalen Milroe. He can really go anywhere, really, in this first round. I don't see him going past top 20, though. That's the thing. I don't see him going past top 20. But Jackson Dart, that's the thing. Like that's what confuses me sometimes. Cause Dart, like he can really go either way. Dart can be picked in top 10, or he can fall all the way to the second. It's like Will Levis again from a year ago. All right, later, Blaze. Thank you so much for tuning into the live. Tune into the next one next Saturday. We'll be live again next Saturday, every single Saturday. If I can, I'll try to make it live every single Saturday night. If I can every Saturday, then most likely I can. But if I can, I will probably go live every single Saturday night. But anyway, Dart, I wouldn't be mad if the Jets pick Dart because you can't even really judge a college quarterback until they get on a NFL field because, like I said, they're totally separate games. Next is Justin Fields. Now, for Justin Fields, I feel like is the most realistic, or not the most realistic. I said Taylor is. But if we're talking that we're not going to go the Tyrod Taylor route, I think Justin Fields is probably the best option. Or Fields is the best option either way, right? But, it's still not the perfect one, but not the perfect quarterback, but yet still a solid one to just keep us, like, in line, right? It's not, I don't believe Justin Fields will set us back. Of course, it's New York. Again, we ruin quarterbacks all the time. But, again with Fields, I think he has great talent. He's very mobile. He's very smart with the ball. He can be very smart with the ball. Very, like I said, very mobile. If you watch his highlights from Chicago, like from 2 years ago, you'll see that he like ran all over every single defense he stepped on the field with, and that's kind of what we need. We have every single piece but a mobile quarterback. If we have a mobile quarterback, I feel like we can get consistent first downs every single drive, because half of the times that we got sacked or had to punt last year was because Rodgers got obliterated or couldn't escape the pocket that well. He was able to escape the pocket well up until the Broncos game, really. The Broncos game is really what set us back the entire season. That's really what started the downfall of the 2024 New York Jets, really, you know. But it's I feel like Justin Fields, if he signed with the Jets, that is our best option, because I feel like Fields I would trust the most. Him or Sam Darnold, which is actually who I'm about to talk to right now. Sam Darnold. This is another option right here. Him or Geno Smith, two former Jet quarterbacks. Although I do not see this happening, these are possible candidates for the new Jets quarterback. Darnold, played with the Jets from 2018 to 2020. That didn't work so well. Then he got traded to the Carolina Panthers April 5th, 2021, I believe. Spent 2 seasons with Carolina, then went to San Francisco for the third year, lost in Super Bowl 58 with San Francisco, then headed to Minnesota, where he actually did very well with them this year. And I was actually really happy for Darnold this year, because I said this for years on end. Darnold is good. If he has the right coaching, Darnold will lead your team to victory. And look what happened. Look what happened. I had so many doubters saying that Darnold's trash. It's because of Darnold. It's because of him. It's because of what he did. Because of what this and that, this and that. Of course, Darnold made some mistakes, right? But you have to believe as a coach that you could help fix him. That's why I was surprised with when Robert Saleh traded him, because, I really thought Saleh and LaFleur, they could have helped develop him. Obviously, if it didn't go that way that year, obviously they could have sent him away to like another team or something. What's up, Bobby? How's it going? Thanks for watching. Um, but anyway, yeah, I don't see Darnold coming back really to the Jets. It'd be nice. It'd actually be a really nice reunion for Darnold to come back. I just don't see it really happening that much. Um, anyway, but like, if it did happen, that'd be pretty cool. You know. But all of these Jets options, it's very confusing, because we don't even know. We have no idea. This is the first time in a long time that we have no idea who's starting week 1. First time in a long time. Like, last season, we were sure Aaron Rodgers was starting. The year before, we were certain the Jets were trading for Aaron Rodgers, which they did. The year before that, we knew Zach Wilson was going to start week 1. The year before that, we knew the Jets were going to draft Zach Wilson at number 2. The year before that, we knew Sam Darnold was going to play that year. The year before that, Darnold. The year before that, Darnold. The year before that, we signed McCown. So really, I would say around 2017 was really the last time we weren't really sure who was going to be the week 1 starter. So it's been 8 years. And that's quite a long time, especially for a Jets quarterback situation. We may not be very consistent with quarterbacks, but we have an idea always really in our head of who is going to play quarterback for the Jets. And it's crazy that the Jets have gone through 15 starting quarterbacks in the last like 10, 15 years. It's crazy. So crazy that I forgot that Trevor Siemian was on that list. Trevor Siemian. It was for the year Rodgers went down, right? The Jets went through 4 quarterbacks that year, I believe. Let's see. You had Rodgers, Wilson, Siemian, Ripien, and let's see. There was another one. But all I remember was Rodgers, Wilson, Siemian, and Ripien. Is the Jets D-line still considered one of the best in the league? Of course. Their last year was just a really down year for them. They had half their guys were really injured, like Jermaine Johnson, Achilles tear back in week 2, out for the season. That really took a toll on the Jets D line. Quinnen Williams, of course, he's a All Pro Bowler for the Jets. One of the best D tackles in the league, obviously top 3. Then you have Will McDonald, who had a breakout year this year, had a very good year for New York. Arguably one of the best Jets defensive ends seasons that we've had in a while. And then you have the interior. The interior is really where we struggled the most. You had Clemens, who was okay for us. Then you had Javon Kinlaw, who was uh, like meh, and he not really that good. But the interior, the D line, is really what um, struggled the most. And it wasn't really exactly their fault again, really. Um, it was again the coaching. Did you know that for almost 3 quarters of the season, Quentin Williams was playing 40% of the snaps during the games, and in his place for 60% of the snaps was Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw played 60% of the snaps for the New York Jets in 2024. I think that was ridiculous, really, on Jeff Ulbricht's part, especially for him being a good defensive coordinator. Jack, do you think Jordan Travis will start for the Jets, or do you even think he's a good player for and good enough to start? No. Like I said, he's not even gonna see the field until at least August or September, I think. So he's probably gonna miss a lot of mini camp. I don't think he didn't even practice once last year because of his leg injury. I wouldn't be surprised if I see him start to warm up very soon. Maybe he can make late training camp, I would assume. Travis will not start for the Jets this year, though. He not even probably next year. This year or next year, Travis will not start. But don't quote me on that. You never know what can happen. Look at Tom Brady, really, right? Bledsoe, like Bobby, you're a Patriots fan, right? Look at Bledsoe. Everybody thought Bledsoe was the franchise quarterback, right? Until he went down. And then out came random Tom Brady, who was considered to be like a very average quarterback in his draft class. And he was picked 199 by New England. Nobody really expected much of him. And then he turned into the greatest quarterback of all time. But yet again, I feel like Travis's injury could have very well set him back a couple years. I definitely think that happened. But, you can never say never, but I don't see that happening really at all. I don't think he'll be the franchise quarterback. I'd like to see him in action. Yes, I would actually love to see Jordan Travis in action, and but we'll just have to see what time will tell. That's really it. But I got a question for you guys. You guys think I should start doing call-ins? I don't know, cause I don't really know what to do for that. Cause I mean, I don't know if there's like a call-in widget on my stream thing or my phone or something. But I feel like call-ins would be a good idea. So if you guys put what you guys think in the chat below if you guys think I should do Collins. But anyway, I don't see Travis going to the as being the starting quarterback for the Jets in the near future. I think that job's gonna go to someone else, probably someone like Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor, honestly. But yeah, it's that's a good question though. Anyway, Bobby, do you think that the Patriots? Do you think Drake May will have a good second year? Don't be biased. Do you think the Patriots will have a good year with Drake May and Mike Vrabel as offensive coordinator and Josh McDaniels back as your offensive coordinator? Right? Do you think like he'll do good this year, Drake May? Do you think he'll do good? Do Collins? Yeah, I think I will. That'd be a good one. Definitely. But how would all right, yeah. I think that'd be better for the channel too. But I'll have to look in on what to do for that because if I could do it, 100% I'll do Collins. I think Collins are like one of my favorite things about doing this. Uncle Frank needs to be on this. Yeah, tell him. Tell him. I'll get him on here someday. Um anyway, I don't know. The Jets' future is very uncertain right now, and it's like I said, it's the first time for a long time. Yes, because think about it right now. With his team last year, he was doing okay for a rookie quarterback. Yes, I agree. He was doing okay, but again, he's very injury prone. 2 concussions last year, especially within the span of what 3 weeks, I think it was. If he becomes very injury prone, who knows how long he'll last in New England? I think he'll last longer than Mac Jones, that's for sure. Or maybe he could become another Mac Jones. Who knows? I remember Jones made the playoffs 10-7 rookie season with the Patriots. Everyone thought he was the next franchise quarterback. What happened? Sent out of New England 2 years later. It's kind of uncertain right now, but I do think May will probably do better than Jones. And now with the good coaching staff, and if we use our 120 million cap space for good players, he's looking good. I hate to admit it, but I agree with you, Bobby. The Patriots have one of the highest cap spaces in the entire league right now. You guys can spend some big bucks. If the Bengals do not re-sign T. Higgins, you guys can go after him. Or, Tyreek Hill, trade for Hill. Although I don't think the Dolphins would trade Hill to a division rival, it's always up for grabs, you know. But somebody like Higgins or Devontae Adams, you guys can pick up. Um, DeAndre Hopkins, maybe, if he doesn't retire from the Kansas City. Um, Unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit it, the Patriots are looking good right now in cap space and draft stock. So who knows? Maybe the dynasty will start up again. But I don't see it happening. No way. No way. No way. If you guys have a good season, I at least see a split between the Jets and the Patriots this year. I don't see you guys sweeping us this year. At least I hope not. But I don't really see us sweeping you guys this year either, unless we bring in like some monstrous quarterback or at least have some like good play this year. Although I see most likely the New York Jets and the New England Patriots will split 1-1 for each this year. Jets will win at home. Patriots will win in Foxborough. That's the way it's been um, for usually a while now. Obviously, the Jets have only won twice within 10 years for New England. First time they beat them since 2015 was January 7th, 2024 in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium. They beat them 17-3 that day. And although it was a very meaningless game, to see us beat the New England Patriots, I was like jumping in joy, really. Very meaningless game, but we beat the Patriots. And then when they whooped the Patriots, like absolutely whooped the Patriots in Week 3, that was my favorite game of the year by far. That was actually like Rodgers' best game, probably that or the Dolphins game. Aaron Rodgers' three best games of the season, I would say, were the Patriots game, the Dolphins game, and the Jaguars game. I would say were his best. Very good game in both. Jack, hit me up to do a collab stream, please. Do you want to do it right now, or next week? Right now or next week, you can do either. I'll set up one right now if you really want to do one right now. If not, then we can do it next week if you'd like. Always be fun to have someone on alive, you know? But what's funny, because the closest thing the Jets will ever get to winning a Super Bowl in a while is that video when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year when Aaron Rodgers recorded it on his phone. He was like, the Jets won the Super Bowl. If you guys see that, look it up on like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, or something. That's probably the closest thing. Next week, you're at Clemson. Really? What are you doing at Clemson? Are you watching some sports, or are you there for like a reason or something? That's good, though. South Carolina? That's crazy. But, it's a hit or miss right now for the Jets at quarterback. And, hopefully Garrett Wilson doesn't request a trade. I know they're just rumors, but if he ends up requesting a trade, I really hope he doesn't, by the way. I don't know. That's the thing. Wilson's deal is kind of unpredictable as well right now, just because of the situation we're in at quarterback right now. If we do not get a good quarterback, I probably think Wilson will be somewhat frustrated. I think he was more frustrated, however, when we had Rodgers. You're looking at the school for your sister and you, bro? Congrats, bro. Congrats. Didn't your dad go there too? That's a great school. I love Clemson. That's a great school. They have good broadcasting there too. So if I'm able to, I could go to Clemson as well. Garrett, you think Garrett wants to leave after last season? I mean, he was frustrated, but all those rumors with the fake, like I said earlier in the stream, it started off from like fake Instagram accounts starting to accuse Garrett Wilson just because he looked frustrated on the field. Like I said, football's a game of emotion. Obviously you're gonna show some emotions on the field, whether it be anger, happiness, sadness, whatever. Those fake accounts picked up on it, and then they started making it to a rumor that was like a bubble. It grew all over social media, and now here we are. Here we are at one of the biggest wide receiver storylines in the offseason. Obviously Wilson, posted on Instagram, he's never said anything like that. It was a couple months ago, actually. It was either Twitter or Instagram that he said that, and we've never even heard of him say any words of that before. We haven't heard the Jets anything before. We know some teams have called for Garrett Wilson, but yet I guarantee you Garrett Wilson will be just fine. He'll be on the New York Jets at least for this season, and I hope he's a Jet at least for a while. Sauce Gardner is definitely staying. Seems very excited about Aaron Glenn coming in. Breece Hall definitely staying. Seems very excited for Aaron Glenn. You'd think really all of them do, really. you know. Did you guys see that Debo Samuel is actually 20 pounds overweight right now? I think it's crazy. It's kind of funny too because it's on Let me see if I can find the picture. Actually, I was just looking at it actually right before I went live. Debo Samuel is apparently 20 pounds overweight right now. And I don't know how that is, especially for one of the best receivers in the league. It could just be apparently he's 20 pounds over his target weight. And apparently this was Debo at the Super Bowl. But I don't know, it could just be a little dad bod because he's Samuel Senior now, instead of regular Samuel. How do you feel about DJ Reed leaving? I mean, hopefully Glenn can bring him back, but I don't see it happening. I see him going to the 49ers. It's sad, honestly. Reed was one of our best defensive players. Are the Jets picking a QB in the draft, or are you trading using free agency to get the QB? I mean, like, really, any option is really up for grabs right now. What I think, really, the top two options right now is we're either going to sign Justin Fields or we're going to have Tyrod Taylor be our quarterback. Unfortunately, Tyrod Taylor, like I said, he's not really the best quarterback. He's a good bridge quarterback, but he's not really starting material anymore. He's not your ideal starting quarterback in 2025. Because of, if it was 2017 or 2016, yes, I would be perfectly okay for Tyrod Taylor being my starting quarterback. But, he's very injury prone. I don't see him lasting that long. I guarantee you he gets some sort of injury this season if he does start for the Jets, which means Jordan Travis could see some field time. Who knows? But I would like to sign Justin Fields. The Jets are probably going to go the free agent market. I did hear though that the Jets are very interested in a quarterback in the draft. So I wouldn't be surprised if we drafted Milroe or Dart, or if we traded up to get Cam Ward, because there's rumors that the Jets want to trade up to get Sanders or Ward. What positions are they going to address in first three picks? Let's see. Quarterback's a possibility. Wide receiver and D line or DBs. That's probably what the Jets are going to. That's probably the route the Jets are going to go. If the Jets aren't going to go quarterback, it's going to be wide receiver, defensive tackles, and defensive backs. That's probably what it's going to be. Or linebacker if Jamie Sherwood and C.J. Mosley decide to leave. That's probably the route the Jets are going to go. The Jets are going to go. It's going to be split even. I guarantee you it's going to be split even between offense and defense this year, which is exactly what we need. I feel like wide receiver has been a problem for the Jets for years now, ever since, Decker and Marshall left. I feel like wide receiver and even Robbie Anderson. I feel like the wide receiver has been an issue. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be if we had Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson in our team. It shouldn't be, really. But it is, unfortunately. And that's who I think they're going to go to for the first three positions that they're going to pick. Not all in that order. Not necessarily in that order, but I guarantee you that's who they're going to go after in the draft this year. But who knows? Maybe even Rodgers will sign with the Colts, Titans, or Steelers. Those are his top three favorites right now, I believe. Rodgers is currently linked. Number one is the Steelers, I think. Number two is the Colts, I believe. And number three is the Titans for Aaron Rodgers, if he doesn't retire. Which, I don't know. Signs are pointing that he's going to play for next season. Like he said, he wants to play. But, time will only tell. What are they going to do to get more QB pressures next year? You just got to upgrade really the roster a lot. Jermaine Johnson's coming back from injury. That's why the D line wasn't really doing good last year. Johnson having very injury prone, and having that Achilles tear really killed the Jets. The Jets defensive line, especially with Quinnen Williams not playing more than 50% of the snaps. That's what really set me off, right? Kinlaw played 60% of the snaps while Williams played 40%. That's why I think the Jets had such a bad year at defensive linemen. They didn't balance it out correctly. It's not necessarily the players, right? Of course, Quinnen Williams is a far better player than Javon Kinlaw. But if you're an NFL player, you're an NFL player, But, Kellen Moore signing right now with the Saints. Yeah, I mean, he just became the youngest head coach in NFL history. And I do agree Rodgers probably has to retire, Josie. I think you're right. I think, although I would love to see him in action at least for one more season, I think it's probably best if he retires. But yeah, Kellen Moore signing with the Saints is quite a shocker. Really, I thought he was going to stay with the Eagles, really, after a really successful year. We'll have to see what he does with the Saints. He became the youngest NFL coach in history, actually. Bobby, did you see what Stephon Gilmore had to say about that? He was like, because him and Moore were drafted in around the same time. and Gilmore was like, this guy was drafted the same year as me, and yet he's an NFL head coach. I feel old now. Like, and that's crazy. I did not even know Kellen Moore was the same age as Gilmore. I thought Gilmore was in his early 30s or something, but no, apparently he's 34, I think. I thought Gilmore was at least like 30 or 31. Um, Actually, no, that's not true. I'd probably see Gilmore at like 32, more, I would say. But it's crazy how Kellen Moore, the youngest coach in the NFL, he's only 36, by the way. I think that's remotely crazy to become a head coach at 36 years old. He's like Sean McVay all over again. Imagine he ends up being like Sean McVay. I mean, I don't know. Kellen Moore didn't really have a good rep though in Dallas. That's the thing though. Yeah, Gilmore. Yeah, bro. I know. I remember Gilmore was a beast for the Patriots. Really. Moore's a really good coach. Yeah, I think so. He was having problems with Dallas a couple years ago. Fortunately, he revived his career in Philly, and hopefully he'll keep his revivement going in New Orleans. If they utilize him well and if Moore can utilize his team well, uh, compete with the teams in the division, because that really division is up for grabs every single season. The NFC South is like the NFC East, like now, like the NFC East has now turned into the NFC South, right? That division, like it's unpredictable almost. It's really nearly unpredictable almost every season. The most likely division winner though is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Still, I would say, if Michael Penix starts at quarterback for the Falcons, I could see Falcons coming in as a close second. Falcons for the past like 3 or 2 seasons have been three. I thought they did pretty good last season, or this past season, they started off 6-3, choked, and missed the playoffs. I thought it was their year this year, really. Until the Kirk Cousins benching, Michael Penix, all of that, all of that, right? But anyway, um, yeah, we'll just have to see what they do from there. But anyway, that division is really up for grabs. Really, all they want to. If Kellen Moore can be competitive with that division, I guarantee you the Saints will be in good spot. But we'll have to see what they do with Derek Carr. That's interesting. Carr is linked to go to another team this offseason. We'll just have to see what they do. Do they bring back Jameis Winston or something? Who knows? You never know. What's up, Ava? Is this your first time watching one? How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. But anyway, Kellen Moore with the Saints, I do think he'll do pretty well with them. Um, you know, it depends, but I do see that division up for grabs really every year. But now I want to move on to Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams' future in the Jets is very uncertain right now. Um, I don't see. Unfortunately, I do think the Jets will cut him after or during this offseason along with Aaron Rodgers. Um, you know, I just and the reason really is because one, Rodgers isn't playing in New York anymore. That's really like the top reason why Adams went to New York in the first place. Um, and the second reason, right, is because his cap space. He has like um, you know, overdue cap space, and a lot of dead cap for Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to affect our wide receivers this year, especially Devontae Adams, which is unfortunately why they will cut him. The mic is cutting out. Oh, the mic's cutting out. Uh-oh. Is it good? Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Bear with me here. Especially Devontae Adams, which is unfortunately why they will cut him. Oh, it's probably because I have to stay close to the mic. I just heard it. Yeah, my bad, guys. I'm leaning back too far. It's good now. Okay. All right. All right. It's good now. All right. But yeah. Bobby, what are you guys gonna do at receiver? Are you guys gonna sign T Higgins? Where are you guys gonna go? I mean, the Bengals are already working on a contract with T Higgins right now, so you guys may miss out on him. Or you guys could draft you guys could draft even Travis Hunter, which that would be scary. But anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Yeah, yeah. Hunter, Hunter at receiver for you guys would honestly be pretty scary. Him and Drake May, I feel like would make a great combo. But if you guys don't resign, if you guys don't resign, if you guys don't sign Higgins. You want him so bad, but I wanted to draft the dude from Arizona. Yeah, no, he's good too. I have to take a look more of his highlights, but I've heard he's a good prospect in this draft. But I don't think you guys will take him that early. Especially you guys have like the 2 pick. I think you guys. I don't think if Hunter is still on the board, I guarantee Patriots are picking Travis Hunter. Here, I'm gonna do actually. Let's do a quick mock draft. I'm gonna do a quick mock draft right now. Actually, PFF mock draft. So yeah, so I don't know if I can show this because of copyright, so I'm just gonna do it from here. Oh, really? Really? The Browns have the second pick? Did they trade? Oh, the Browns have the second pick. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. Patriots have 4. All right. Let's. Oh wait, did I already do it? Did I already do it? Oh, it's because I already did it. Wait. Oh wait, enter draft. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Let's get this set here. How can I play this? Oh, all teams. All right, here we go. All right, Titans. Here we go. We won last game. Oh, that's right. You guys won the last game. Forgot. All right, so start draft. Titans. So again, I probably can't show this because of copyright. Titans. I see them going the quarterback route. So Titans, they're going to pick up Cam Ward. I'm gonna say they draft Cam Ward here. So first pick is off the board right now. Cam Ward is going to Tennessee. Cleveland. Now here's a thing, right? If they decide to keep Nick Chubb relevant, especially after that horrific injury he had, I don't see them going the running back route. They could go the quarterback route, replace Deshaun Watson, but I think I heard a report saying that they wanted to play Watson, right? So based on this, I'm gonna say they go like the tackle route, or the cornerback route. They're probably. Wait. I think Travis Hunter's actually going in as a cornerback. That's what PFF is saying right now. They're saying he's going in as a corner for the draft. That's what it is. Let me look that up actually real quick. Because PFF says cornerback and not receiver real quick, actually. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so he's expected to play both, but I would probably say receiver more. Let's just say Hunter is a receiver in this case, right? So Browns, this is a very, very tough one. I'm gonna say they go the offensive tackle route here, though. They could stun everybody, pick Hunter, but in this case, he's gonna be doing both. Yeah, that's what I figured. But I don't know. Let's just say I'm gonna assume that he's gonna go in as a wide receiver. So let's assume he's a receiver for PFF right now. Browns are gonna. I'm gonna say right now for me, they're gonna pick Will Campbell from LSU. I think that's who they're gonna pick. Giants, they're getting Shedeur Sanders. I guarantee you, they're getting Shedeur Sanders in the draft. So let's find him right now at quarterback. Okay, Shedeur Sanders is going to go to the New York Giants. New England. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. I would say New England's probably going to draft Travis Hunter. If I'm being really honest, I think New England's going to draft Travis Hunter. Or McMillan from Arizona. Either McMillan from Arizona or Travis Hunter they're going to draft. I guarantee it. Or they're going to get Ashton Genty, maybe. They could get Genty. I could totally see them getting Ashton Genty. But in this case, Travis Hunter's going to New England. That's what I'm saying. Hunter is going to go to New England. And this, by the way, this is assuming that nobody's going to trade in the draft, by the way. No, trade picks. Jacksonville gets kind of controversial, though. They kind of need help everywhere they can get, right? I could see them going the Abdul Carter route. I can see them really, I could see them going to the Will Johnson route. I can see them, I could also see them going, another offensive tackle like Josh Simmons, maybe even Emeka Egbuka to go with their receiver room. But I'm going to say they go with an offensive lineman. Their offensive line really struggled this past season. I'm going to say they either go guard or tackle right now. I'm going to say, I'm going to say they pick Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. That's who I say so far. I mean, I don't know if that's the best one, but I guarantee it. Or not guarantee it, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. Raiders. Now here, the Raiders were actually my first pick to get Shedeur Sanders until the Giants skyrocketed in the draft, right? Raiders are gonna go. I still think Raiders are gonna go the quarterback route. If Rodgers doesn't go to the Raiders or if they don't trade for anybody. So let's assume the Raiders do not trade for anybody. They are going to get a quarterback or a receiver. They're either going to get Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, or Ashton Genty, I'm going to say. I'm going to say they go the Jalen Milroe route. Milroe gets picked number 6 on the board right now. And now we arrive to the New York Jets at number 7, right? Quarterback, defensive lineman, or defensive back. Jets are either going to go quarterback or defensive back route. I'm going to say they go DB, right? It'll save us a lot. Well, this is also really hard because the Jets have been eyeing Jackson Dart. That's the thing, right? But the Jets' future at quarterback is so uncertain right now, especially with our cap space being an issue right now. $30 million, I think, is our current cap space, which is kind of low. It's still a lot, but it's kind of low, especially if you want to get like a big time guy. But I guarantee we can manage Justin Fields. With that money. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get Fields or even just start Tyrod. Like I said, Tyrod Taylor is most likely unfortunately the most realistic option right now to start for the New York Jets right now for quarterback for next season. But let's say they do not go the quarterback route. If they do go the quarterback route, they're going to get Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe or Dylan Gabriel. Either one of those three if they go to the quarterback route. I see Jackson Dart being the most realistic option. But if they do not go the quarterback route, they're going to pick Will Johnson or Mason Graham, both from Michigan, both from my favorite college football team. I'm not a bandwagon for them. I promise you I've been liking them for like 8 years now. Maybe even 9. I think like 2016 is really when I started to like them. But anyway, I just say they'll draft either Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, or Will Johnson, or Malachi Starks out of Georgia. That's really who I see if they do not go the quarterback route. But in this case, I'm going to say Will Johnson, especially if Reed leaves. We need special help for Sauce Gardner on the other side. Michael Carter II, he can do really good stuff for the Jets. He's a playmaker for us, but again, we should probably get another DB just to be safe. Panthers defensive line. I'm gonna say they go defensive line here. They really need some help on their defense. They're going to get Mason Graham out of Michigan. So 2 Michigan players in a row getting drafted right now. New Orleans Saints at number 9. I'm gonna say they go the wide receiver or the defensive lineman route. A lot of defensive linemen here in the talks right now for the NFL draft for 2025. But I'm gonna say they go the receiver route and they will pick up McMillan out of Arizona. They will pick him up. That's what I'm gonna say. He's gonna be a good match with Chris Olave. That's who I see the New Orleans Saints picking up in the draft. Chicago Bears. Here's another one. Because the Bears have been in rebuild mode for like the longest time now, especially after they got Caleb Williams. Now, here I can see them going like a lot of ways between running back, center, guard, and edge rusher. Like how PFF says it right here, actually. I'm going to say they go more to the running back route, or maybe protect Caleb Williams, I can really see it going both ways. Didn't mean that. I apologize. But I can see it going really both ways between running back and center. Really. In this case, I'm going to go the offensive line here. I think that's a safer pick, really. I think they can maybe sign a running back in the offseason. It depends how much cap space they have. Let me look up. Let's actually see how much cap space they have real quick. If they have enough cap space, I think that's the route they're going to go. Okay, so Chicago will have nearly $63 million in cap space, which is pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to say they're either going to go Ashton Genty right now, or they're going to go Abdul Carter, or they're going to go with a tackle. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to pick a guard, actually, for them. I'm going to pick a safe offensive lineman. So let's go to the offensive lineman. Let's find them real quick. Offensive line. Okay. Let's see. I think Tyler Booker would be a very good pick for them. Booker out of Alabama, very good guard for them. I'm going to say the Bears go the Tyler Booker route right now. 49ers. Now, here's another issue, especially with Trent Williams getting really old. They probably need help at the line or defensive line. I'm going to say they go offensive line here. They're going to get Kevin Banks Jr. out of Texas. That's what I say. And And we have officially surpassed 1 hour in this stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all of you who have still watched over an hour. Any of you who have watched over an hour, you deserve a Jets touchdown horn from 2021. Let's go. Quick little thing, just wanted to test that out, see if it'll be used in future streams. But anyway, back to the draft simulator. Cowboys. Now, here's also where it gets interesting. If they decide to keep or still go the Rico Dowdle path, I don't see them picking a running back unless they want to pick Genty to be a backup to learn for a year, or maybe he's just going to steamroll past Rico Dowdle. I could see it really going both ways. I can see them selecting a receiver or go the defensive tackle route. I'm honestly surprised that Abdul Carter is still on the list here. You know, but they have Micah Parsons, and Parsons is even rumored to leave, but I don't really think that'll happen, unless he requests a trade. But I'm going to say the Cowboys will go the wide receiver route and pick up Luther Burden. That's who I think they're going to go with. Now, the Dolphins are going to get Abdul Carter. That's who I'm going to say. Dolphins are going to get Abdul Carter. I guarantee they will get Abdul Carter. That's who I think. That's who I think they're going to get. Colts. You know, PFF says they're rumored to get a tight end right now, actually. A tight end like Tyler Warren, maybe. The Jets could maybe even pick up Tyler Warren. I would actually be really happy with that. Conklin, I think, is a really good tight end. I don't know why people don't think Conklin's a good tight end. I don't like how people don't give him the credit he deserves. But if I would not be mad at all for Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren is an absolute beast out of Penn State. I wouldn't be mad at all. Do you think Neighbors will ask for a trade because of what he said at the end of the season? No. I think he just has a big mouth, honestly. I think Neighbors, you know, I think Neighbors is, I think he's fine, but I think sometimes he can have a pretty big mouth, especially if, you know, he's upset, you know, because we've seen that over the course of the season. Maybe after next season, maybe he could request a trade, but I think really he was just in the heat of the moment at the time. But so far, I don't see that Neighbors will request a trade this season. Especially because he's only played in the NFL for 1 year, and the Giants desperately need a receiver like Neighbors. So it's kind of an unrealistic scenario, honestly. But back to the Colts. Genty is currently number 1 right now in running backs. You know, off topic for a sec, Genty is one of the best running backs I've seen come out of a draft class, and I think he'll be a very good talent in the NFL. But again, we'd have to see. So the Colts, again, this is a very hard one. Very, very hard one. They can either go tight end or edge rusher. I don't know. Or they can go the DB, actually. They do desperately need a DB. I'm going to say they go the tight end route, get Tyler Warren, though. I'm going to say Tyler Warren becomes a Indianapolis Colt. That's who I say is going to go to the Colts. Falcons, they're going to pick up a receiver in this draft. I guarantee it, to help out with Drake London. Either a receiver or a defensive back or a linebacker, because they do need a linebacker. But I'm going to say they go the receiver route, and they will pick up Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. So, yeah, Cardinals now. Cardinals I can see also going the receiver route, but they don't really need it because they just got Marvin Harrison Jr. They probably need, like, offensive linemen or something, right? So that's why I have the Arizona Cardinals. They are going to get, actually, a defensive line. Actually, no, to help Kyler Murray. If they decide to keep Kyler Murray, that is, they're going to go the offensive line route. So I'm going to actually keep it safe. They're going to draft Membo out of Missouri. Armand Embo out of Missouri. That's exactly who they're going to draft. Bengals, here's another interesting one. If they do not decide to keep T. Higgins, they will go the receiver route. And that's exactly where I see them going. They will select Matthew Golden. They'll select Matt Golden out of Texas. So that's what I'm gonna do so far. That's who I see the top 17 right now for the draft. Really, the most interesting ones really are the top 5. Really, or the top 10, because you have Cam Ward. These are my top 10, by the way. Number 1, Titans are going to get Cam Ward. Number 2, Browns are going to get Will Campbell. And number 3, Shedeur Sanders is going to go to the New York Giants. Travis Hunter is going to go to the New England Patriots. Josh Simmons is going to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jalen Milroe will go to the Las Vegas Raiders. Will Johnson will go to the New York Jets if they do not decide to go back to the quarterback route, right? Or the tight end route, right? Panthers to get Mason Graham out of Michigan. McMillan from Arizona will go to the Saints. Tyler Booker to the Bears. And Kevin Banks to the 49ers for number 11. That's my top 10. I think that's a pretty stacked top 10. This draft class is definitely one of the best we've seen in a while. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait and see what the Jets do. Quarterback, whether they're going to pick Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Dalen Gabriel. And quite frankly, for being the number 1 seed in college football this past year, I don't see Dalen Gabriel being selected pretty early in the draft. I think he's going to either fall to late first or maybe even early second. That's how I see it, But, that's really all it was for today. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. We have Bobby. One more question. Do you think Brickstool is a good tight end from Clemson, how he played at the Senior Bowl? Yes, of course, he had an amazing performance at the Senior Bowl, but, that's just, one game. But, of course, he had a very good season this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a second or third round pick. I think he's probably going to fall late second, early third, maybe even mid third, I would say. Maybe even late first. I'm not sure. He's he's one of those very unpredictable ones. But anyway, that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this live show. It was a very, very, very good one to have today. Make sure to strap in for next week's live stream, as we'll be doing it again next Saturday. I'll try to see if I can do it for maybe longer this time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Jack Talks Jets. I'll come out with a video probably either tomorrow morning. I'll hit you up about next week, Bobby, I promise. Remind me if I forget, by the way. But I'll see you guys next week. Thank you, guys.